For more on this, Scheherazade Rehman, Professor of International Business Finance and International Affairs at George Washington University, joins us on the set. Welcome back, Professor. And, we were just talking earlier, we're going to talk about the UK, we're going to talk about Europe. Let's start with the United Kingdom first, because there's a lot of discussion of late of some concerns about the UK possibly starting to feel the effects now of this European crisis.
Oh, they're definitely feeling the effects. In fact, they've felt the effects for all of this year. We had a triple bad news come out. The recovery is going to take a lot longer. They have missed the fiscal targets that they set for this year, and they've extended the austerity measures until 2018. All of this bodes quite badly for the next 5 years. George Osborne said that he needs 5 years to do his work, and that was 1 year ago. He's back 1 year later, and he said he needs 5 more years.
Some are saying that some of the austerity measures taken, not just by the UK, but by a number of European countries, perhaps if they were a little less tough, might actually help stimulate growth. Do you believe in that?
Absolutely. I think that austerity measures had to be taken, but so much austerity without crisis management at the very beginning of this crisis has yielded not only just no growth, but shrinkage, meaning negative growth.
So we were just talking right before we went on the air about the doom and gloom that the media, I guess we're partially to blame, they've painted a pretty bleak picture. If you look back at the news articles from January all the way to now, it's been doom and gloom around the world and about Europe as well. But the truth is, the stock market's doing very well. The economic reports about business confidence, for example, we have some of the highest readings here in the United States and even from Asia as well. Europe, it's more suspect. But the point being is that, is it possible that the media, us as a group, have been overly bearish about the economies around the world?
I think it's definitely the case that the media, you guys, have been not only bearish about the news, but also being panicked about the news. If there is any little good news, we get elated, and if there is a little bit of bad news, there's gloom and doom. But the markets are responding in kind.
This year has been a tremendous year for Europe. We saw the ECB make significant steps, open up a lot of doors. Part of it is the emergency funding situation. The other part is the openness to perhaps issue Eurobonds in the future. I say that very carefully. And then there's, genuine support, I believe, from the World Bank and the IMF and other countries that have offered at least moral support, if not verbal support, for the situation. Where does that leave us for 2013?
Okay, so the moral support comes in an additional way. The EU is getting the Nobel Peace Prize, and that was a signal to say, we support you, stay together, please. This is all good work. You're going through a tough time. Where that leaves us to 2013, unfortunately, is not in a good place. Ultimately, 2013 is going to turn out to be probably the worst year, and then things are going to recover.
Well, that's certainly not optimistic at all. When you say the worst year, do you mean for the economy? Do you mean for a potential breakup of the Eurozone, or do you mean for specific countries like Greece and Spain?
I mean for specific countries and the Eurozone as a whole. There will be a shrinkage next year. I think everyone's on board with that. But then there is this understanding that eventually things are going to get back on track. 2014 and 15, all we've got to do is just get through the Italian elections in April, and if we get through them in somewhat of a sane manner, Europe will start to begin to see a very, very slow move forward out of the negative territory.
There was a lot of concern going into the year about the issues with peripheral Europe, including Greece and Spain, how that might affect some of the bigger countries, for example, Germany and Italy, and even the United Kingdom. And, we started off the interview with, it is affecting the United Kingdom. So I guess the other question is it affecting France, and how is it affecting the Italian economy, and also Germany as well?
Very substantially. All these economies have slowed down. Germany's growth rates were cut to below 1%. France is flat. We know that all these economies have been affected. The UK is stagnant and probably will be for the next 3 or 4 years.